ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫਸਟ ਟਾਈਮ ਪੀਰੀਅਡਸ ਆਏ ਸੀਗੇ, ਮੰਮਾ ਨੇ ਲਾਈਕ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਲੈਬ 'ਤੇ ਬਿਠਾਇਆ ਅਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਇਆ ਕਿ ਗੁੱਡ ਟੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਅਤੇ ਬੈਡ ਟੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ।
Yeah.
And I think I was 10 or 11
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
And 10-11 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਗੁੱਡ ਟੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਬੈਡ ਟੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ।
Right now, the cases that I get, they'll be like, ਤੂੰ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਕਾਤੇ ਪਾਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ?
Yeah.
ਆਪਣੇ ਮਾਮੇ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਇਹ ਕਾਤੇ ਪਾਏ ਸੀਗੇ? ਆਪਣੇ ਕਜ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਪਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੀ। ਤੂੰ ਹੱਸਦੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਕਾਤੇ ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ? With your own cousin and relatives and all of that. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ more questions, judgment, yeah, and ਵੀ ਇਹ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਾਤੇ instead of being like, ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ like, you know, like she's trying to explain to you good touch, bad touch, like your mom is, right? Like, ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਤਾਂ conversations ਬਹੁਤ ਘੱਟ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਆ. Like, in my experience with whatever gets sent to me, hopefully it's changing and I see the change. ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ messages ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ like oh ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ, like it's a very open topic and I'm very glad ਵੀ ਇਹ topic ਬਹੁਤ like you know ਅਸੀਂ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। but there's some families TV ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ kissing scene ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ TV ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ, they won't even have a conversation with their children about anything. so the ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ shelter ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਆ, they're more prone to be victims
Yeah.
of sexual and domestic or any type of abuse, to be honest, because they're so naive.
That's a very good point that you just said ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਉਹ ਹੋਰ ਕਰਨਗੇ।
Yeah.
I remember I was having this conversation with my husband. And I was saying, you know, we should like keep this when we're gonna have kids, we're gonna keep them away from this, we're gonna keep. And he's like,
Yeah.
relax. He said that कि पंजाबी culture ਚ इदां ही कहंदे ने कि ਇਹ नहीं करना, if you don't do it ਉਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰਨਗੇ। He was like, why can't we like, okay, this is the environment you're gonna go through, this is what's gonna happen, and if this happens to you, or if you're doing something like this, let me know and we can guide you how are the proper ways to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm like, wow, that's the really good concept. Like, we're not like, I wasn't aware of this. And then my husband's like you have to do this because you cannot treat your children like children at the end of the day.
Yeah, like there's like yes, they're children or whatever, but then one age when you grow up and stuff, like you have to talk about reality. Like, you know, you can't just like, you know, keep them in a bubble ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ, worse ਹੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਆ. It's life. Like there's female, there's male, there's like, you know, just communicate with them and this is how it should be. And honestly, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਲਾ prevent ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, like as in like teaching them, ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ incident ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ, because it's life, incidents the life ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਣੇ ਹੀ ਆ, right? Making sure that if an incident does even happen, ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋ ਵੀ like you've taught them everything, you've explained bad touch, good touch, but something still does happen to them, you as a parent have the obligation to listen to them, still be there for them, and hope that they actually are comfortable enough to come to you. ਵੀ 5-10 ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਚੋਂ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ, you know, like ਉਦੋਂ ਹੀ ਆਵੇ, like right away. ਇੰਨਾ comfort ਰੱਖ ਲਓ ਆਪਣੇ environment, ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਵੀ ਉਹ ਖੁਦ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੀ ਵੀ incident ਹੋਵੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ, ਉਸੇ ਦਿਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ comfortable feel ਹੋਵੇ ਆਉਣ ਲਈ. And that's the actual goal. Because yes, victims ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment, even though galti ਤਾਂ ਉਹ perpetrator ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ shame ਨਾਲ guilt ਉਹ usually victim feel ਕਰਦਾ ਆ, right? So we have to understand and be patient. ਕਹਿ ਦੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ parent ਵਾਂਗ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਸਮਝਾਇਆ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ child ਨੂੰ, right? ਨਾਲੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ hurt ਨਾ ਹੋ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ 20 ਜਾਂ 1 ਮਹੀਨਾ ਜਾਂ 20 ਦਿਨ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ, 1 ਮਹੀਨਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ, 1 ਸਾਲ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆਉਣ ਲਈ, as long as they came to you. You know, we have to be understanding, because these topics of when it comes to sexual abuse especially, it's a very sensitive topic. You can't push someone, you can't trigger it. If they want to talk about it, they will. If they don't, you make sure that you as a parent or a friend, they know that they can come to you at any time. Like, you know, option hove, idda na hove bhi kalle feel ਕਰਦੇ ਆ. Always check up. ਮੈਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਆ other podcasts too, that ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ community ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਸੱਟ ਵੱਜਦੀ ਆ, like ਲੱਤ ਟੁੱਟ ਗਈ or something, ਕੋਈ accident ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਉਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਘਰ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਚਾਹ ਪੀਣੀ ਆ, like come over, go check the person out, ਵੀ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਠੀਕ ਆ। ਜਦੋਂ depression, mental health, anxiety, ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਜਣਾ silent room ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ, ਉਦੋਂ ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ।
ओ चल छड़ 2 पैग ला सब ठीक हो जाएगा।
Yeah, like that, especially for men. ਜਦੋਂ yeah, ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂਗੇ, ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕੋਈ ਜਣਾ ਵੀ ਲੈ ਜਨਾਨੀ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਬੋਲੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ, why are you, ਤੂੰ ਕੁੜੀ ਆ, like why do you care, ਆ ਪੈਗ ਪੁਗ ਲਾ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਠੀਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ। So then this is when it turns into a circle. That's why we have more alcohol abuse in our community. Drug abuse is happening, all of that, because men are more silenced. If you're going to talk about your emotions, because it's not only females that go through this, men go through this as well. We have a lot of cases where we get men sings reaching out saying, hey, I've been sexually assaulted, I've been like this, but I'm not coming forward. Half the cases, more than half, I think 5% of cases I show on my platform. Everything else on my platform is private. ਅਸੀਂ separate like deal ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, because they don't want to come forward because of the embarrassment, and like they feel like they can't come forward, we're going to be judged from the community. So the judgment is the more like what the society thinks is more of an issue currently, I'm feeling, and that's what we have to change as a whole.
ਇਹ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਸੀਗਾ। ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ 2 ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੁਆਇੰਟਸ ਚੱਕੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਬੈਕ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਹੈਡ ਸੀਗੇ, ਮੈਂ ਪੁੱਛਣੇ। ਪਹਿਲਾ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਵਰਡ ਬਹੁਤ ਯੂਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ
Yes.
ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ, ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ।
Oh yeah.
ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ, ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਦੀ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਹੈ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਹੋਰ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਏ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਹੋਰ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਏ, ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਨੂੰਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਦੀ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਹੈ।
Yeah.
Like why is like so much pressure of izzat on women? Like what's that word, what importance that word holds?
This might sound a little weird, but yeah, I don't know when and why our community puts is it on a vagina, like literally. That's where they put it on, like, hey, ਕਿ ਕੁਛ ਗਲਤ ਹੋਇਆ, ਉਹ ਤੇਰੀ ਇੱਜ਼ਤ ਰੁਲ ਗਈ, ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇਰਾ ਕਦੀ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਣਾ। One of the main things that victims of abuse from our community face is ਮੇਰੀ mom dad ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਊਗਾ if ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ, ਜਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਜਣਾ like ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਜਣਾ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੋਂ ਹਟ ਜਾਊਗਾ, ਜਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੋਕ ਅਲੱਗ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇਖੂਗੇ because ਮੇਰਾ rape ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ। So like it's again victim blaming.
Why is it like too much on body object?
It's sad. It's really, really sad, and that's what we're trying to change in our society, in our community. It's in other communities too, but like I want to focus on our community and make it better, where it's like, hey, stop using words like this, stop saying things like this, like be izadrologiya, or like making, at least for the next generation, this should not be a problem. In our generation, okay, ho gaya, ਅਸੀਂ suffer ਕਰੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, and we're still fighting it. But for the next generation and the kids coming forward, equality is such a big thing. Equality altogether is a big thing. Understanding and being a realist also. Men have their qualities, women have theirs. There's differences. ਏਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ, okay, I'm a feminist, I can do everything. No, there's certain things I can't do that men can do. I have the same movement because I have men in my team as well that can do certain things for me that I would not be able to do. So just like understanding what you're capable of and what a man is capable of, and respecting both sides, right? And not like, not making it a fight of gender, like, not making it a fight. And it's more of like, hey, let's just work together. These are things that you can do, and I'm so happy you can. And guess what? I can offer this. So working together is way better instead of just targeting each other and going off on like, oh, no, you're a woman, you can't do this, or da 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 da. It's like, yes, I understand I can't do this, but you don't need to throw it at my face. Let's get an understanding and, be respectful of each other. Just because you're a man doesn't make you more superior than me, right? Like, these are topics are like things that I discuss so much with parents, especially because when I sit down, and because I do go meet victims, I do go to families and get them to understand the victim
Mm.
side and everything. And some of the things that I hear is like, ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਕੁੜੀ ਆ ਇਹਨੂੰ, like, you know, ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਕਾਤੇ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ, like ਇਹਦਾ ਘਰ ਬਸਾਵੇ, ਆਪਣਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰਾ ਲਵੇ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਟੈਨਸ਼ਨ ਬਸ ਸਾਡੀ ਖਤਮ ਹੋਵੇ. Like, you know, things like that is the stuff I'm hearing when I go meet families. Instead of like, hey, ਮੇਰੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਆ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੀ healing ਨਾਲ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ help ਕਰੀਏ, ਇਹਦੀ education ਵਧਾਈਏ, or like all of that. But no, worry ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਆ, ਇਹਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ, ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਊਗਾ, ਹੁਣ ਇਹਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ. Like, you know, ਫੇਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਟੱਬਰ. These are the things that I hear. And this is what I'm trying to change. Like, hey, this is, the wedding isn't everything.
That's exactly, yeah, like I think ਇਹ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. I remember ਜਦੋਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ, and you know, one of my relatives called me and said that ਚਲੋ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਦੀ ਟੈਨਸ਼ਨ ਮੁੱਕ ਗਈ. I'm like, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ
Huh.
ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੇ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਰਿਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਮੈਂ ਟੈਨਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ. Like, I'm an independent woman, like I'm working, like, you know, I'm contributing to my payments, the work that I do and everything, and ਮੇਰੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਦੀ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਿਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਬਰਡਨ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ. Like, how come like relatives come to me and say that okay ਚਲੋ ਉਹਦੀ ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਦੀ ਟੈਨਸ਼ਨ ਮੁੱਕ ਗਈ. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਵੀ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ.
Yeah, it's the older generation that makes those comments, and then we listen and we just are like, we just roll our eyes and are like, what's going on? But honestly, I don't even want to argue with you because you're just too old for me now. Like, I can't do
It's,
this, right?
yeah.
But it's sad to hear that, like, grandparents make those comments, everyone's making those comments to, like, you know, their nieces, nephews, certain things that are just not supposed to be said to children. And I really hope that parents realize it, where they are more, like, you know, equal with the kids, and like making sure, like, hey, none of this like cultural stuff in that sense, and all the backlash of like hey, tu kuriyan, tu ani pauna is just kind of taken out, and just give the same amount of freedom you give to a son to a daughter, right? And just it should be equality. Obviously, teach, okay? Like, teach your children. Like, for you, yeah, a little bit things are going to be different. You have to be more cautious. As a woman, you have to be more aware. Yes, that sucks, but that's the reality right now. So, yeah, as a parent, you have to teach some things to your daughter that you won't have to say to your son, right? But also, the way of doing it and the way of saying it makes a huge difference. Saying things like, oh, tu kuriyan taan karke, tu ja nahi sakdi, aa nahi kar sakdi, is a way different than saying, hey, I wish you don't go, but if you are gonna go to this event or anything that's happening at, let's just say, at 11 p.m., right? There's clubs or
Mm.
whatever. Can you make sure that you are doing this, and please do this? As in, like, make sure you're calling me, make sure you're aware, make sure your phone is on, make sure that you know that you can call me at any time. Like, all those kind of things. Because when you're in that teenager phase, is when you're the most
Vulnerable, yeah.
vulnerable. So the understanding has to be there. When parents say things like "Tu nahi ja sakdi," but your son can go, the girls will go. They'll just go secretly. They just won't tell you anything from now on, and that's the last thing you want to do.